I'm going to show two different ways to join hickory bark when you need to make a splice while you're doing the chair seat. First way I'm going to show is traditional method, and it's a little harder to do, but this is a way you'll see, vintage chair seats. If you take one apart, this is probably the way the hickory bark was joined together. On one piece, you'll cut kind of looks like an arrowhead shape. And then on the other piece, you'll cut a slot that's basically the same thickness as this piece is. You have to be careful with this method because it's really easy to cut too far. And if you do, then your hickory bark will end up tearing right there and you'll have a weak joint or maybe not a joint at all. You can see that slot that we have cut in that one. And then you just take the two pieces, put them together. And there you've got your traditional splice. And it's strong, but when you're pulling your hickory bark tight, you don't want to pull too tight because it'll just split out on you. So when you do your next run after the splice, you don't pull quite as much tension as you typically would. And the way that I prefer, I learned from Jeff Lefkowitz. I do it a little differently than he does, but it's the same basic idea. So you overlap your pieces, and I just take a pair of diagonal cutters and cut a V-notch through both pieces. And do the same thing on the other side. You can do it with a knife too, but I prefer using dikes for that. And you take your string. And this is just a waxed cotton string. I get this brown color because it kind of matches the color of the hickory bark. I go 3 or 4 times around it and tie a square knot. Cut off the tag ends. And I actually do 2 of them. So that makes a really strong joint. It's much stronger than the traditional way. You can still pull it loose, but I was putting an extreme amount of pressure on that before it tore. So you can pull it a little tighter. You still don't want to put full tension on it when you're pulling it through because it will, as you see, it will split out on you. But I like this joint better. I can tie it faster. And also when you're working like inside of a chair, it's a little easier to get your dikes in there and just cut those 2 notches out.